Hello, I'm Chloe and this is my channel The Omnivore, and today I'm going to try and make a recipe that I've been thinking of for a while now. It's an aubergine katsu curry with pumpkin, some steamed rice and a coconut yogurt with cucumber and coriander. And this is going to be a bit different from the last recipe that we did together because this is a test recipe, meaning that I've got no idea what I'm doing really other than some basic principles that I've got together. So yeah, let's get started.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cherry tomatoes and some onion and I'm going to roast that off in a little bit of oil and salt and pepper. Then I'm going to chop up an aubergine into medallions and I'm going to rub some salt and some oil over that just to marinate it a little bit and break down the proteins inside of the aubergine so it's good for frying. Take the skin off of some pumpkin and chop it into cubes, then it will be all nice and ready for the curry later. The thing we're going to make is the yogurt, and for this I'm going to use some coconut cream, salt and pepper, some lime juice, some coriander and some cucumber, and I'm just going to mix that all together in this bowl. I would have used a bigger bowl, so yeah, feel free to use a bigger bowl.
As you saw, we just made the yogurt and I've used some coconut cream, and usually in the UK coconut cream is a lot thicker than this. I'm not really that happy with the consistency. Right now I'm just going to use some chia seeds and grind them up in here, and then I'll stick the yogurt in the fridge for a bit and see the consistency after it's been in the fridge for say half an hour to an hour.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to make is the coating that will go on before the breading later, and for this I'm just going to use some coconut milk and some lime and I'm going to mix that together, and that is it.
Okay, so now we're done making our yogurt and our pre-dredging. I'm going to attempt to make this pumpkin curry. First of all, I'm going to show you how to make the paste.
Okay, so for the paste you're going to need a bunch of spices. We're going to need garlic, chilli, lemongrass, ginger, onion and a bit of water to blend it. Now add the water first and then add all of your spices basically. It doesn't really matter which order this happens, and then blend it to a paste. And this does look a bit sloppy, but don't worry about that, it will dry out.
Okay, so now we've made our curry paste. Next thing on the list is to fry off this curry paste and to make our curry. And to do that, we're going to need to use these tomatoes that I roasted off earlier. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick these tomatoes with these roasted onions in the blender with some fresh tomatoes, and I'll be using that as my passata.
So to make your curry, what you're going to need is your curry paste, some oil, the passata that we just made, the pumpkin chunks, and some coconut milk. Now take your oil and heat it up to hot, and then fry off your curry paste. It should release a lot of the moisture, and you'll be left with a nice thick curry paste after about a minute and a half, just like this. Then add your passata, stir that in until it's thoroughly combined, and then add your coconut milk. Give this a quick mix as well, and then after you've done this you can add your pumpkin chunks, and then you can just let that simmer for a bit.
Okay, so now you've done your curry, you need to make the breading for the dredging of the aubergine katsu bit, or I'm going to try and show you how to do that anyway, so this is my interpretation of katsu.
Okay, so I'm just going to add some garam masala, coriander, some breadcrumbs and some ground flour, and I'm going to mix that all together in a bowl, and that's basically my breading.
Okay, so it's at this point I would be putting on some rice to boil, but unfortunately I only have one ring, so I'm going to be using a microwave. So the rice this time around is solely really for display purposes. Usually I would be putting it in a pan and boiling it myself.
Okay, so here is where it gets a bit tricky. Because I only have one ring, I'm going to transport the curry and put that into the oven just to keep it warm, not to do anything else.
Okay, so now you've made your curry. we're going to fry off the katsu.
So make sure you have everything ready and in the right order, and then heat up your oil until it's nice and hot. Line a plate with some kitchen roll. Do a test chunk. I like doing test chunks because it shows you how hot your oil is. Then submerge your aubergine in the coconut milk mixture. Crumb it really well, pat it down. You want to make sure that you've got a nice golden brown colouring on each side. I like to use chopsticks because that's how they do it in Asia. Take your aubergine out and just rest it on the kitchen towel. And then plate it however you like.